Testing, testing, testing. Yes. I wonder why I'm not able to do this. Okay. So I have my QWERTY controls set up. Sound I'm not able to configure. All this stuff I think I can just leave on default. Oh, the settings don't save. Interesting. I'll just go into a game and configure the settings from there, I think. And this demo is an isolated prequel experience created to show some of the main features of the Gothic 1 remake. But since the game is still being worked on, it can contain bugs and glitches. The full game follows the story, structure, and spirit of the original Gothic, with the nameless hero as the protagonist. However, is he actually nameless? There is this inconsistency where apparently his name is Nyras. The story takes place in the Mine Valley of Khorinis, a penal colony. I should probably try and be a bit more clear. The story takes place in the Mine Valley of Khorinis, a penal colony violently taken over by its prisoners after a barrier spell went astray. The inmates now live in the Independency with the king, who needs them for the magical Blue War, humanity's last hope for its losing war against the orcs. You are Nyras, and you have just arrived in the colony. Now, in the original Gothic, we get a cutscene where we just get thrown into the colony. We don't just get like a bunch of text, we actually just get thrown in, and that's it. And that is what made Gothic so good, is that it really just kind of immersed you, it just threw you in, instead of all this jibber jabber with the text. Now, I think they definitely should have had. Actually, it's possible that they are purposefully avoiding showing the actual.
Nikogo tu nie obchodzi twoje imię, chłopcze. Chyba że dasz im ku temu powód. Słuchaj, zwykle to ja pokazuję świeżakom, co jest co. Ale lawina odcięła nas od doliny, więc mam teraz ważniejsze sprawy na głowie. Nasi ludzie mają oczyścić ścieżkę, ale znając ich, zajmie im to parę dni. Znajdź sobie miejsce na obóz, bo spędzisz tu trochę czasu. Wszystko jasne?
Yeah, my game is lagging a bit. It seems that I should have lowered the settings beforehand. Can I help you somehow, or where can I camp? Somewhere in here?
Mogę jakoś pomóc?
Dzięki, ale nie.
Mógłbym rozbić obóz gdzieś tutaj?
Nie. Ten plac wymian należy do starego obozu. I dopóki nie staniesz się jednym z nas, nie możesz się tutaj włóczyć po zmroku. Znajdź sobie jakieś dobrze osłonięte miejsce. Nasi chłopcy widzieli w pobliżu kanionu cieniostwora. Uważaj na nie. Polują w nocy.
Czekaj. Prawdziwego cieniostwora?
Najprawdziwszego. To tylko jeden z wielu tutejszych stworów, które z radością by cię rozszarpały.
Rozumiem. Dzięki.
Jasne. Witamy w kolonii.
So, first things first is I need to lower the settings. I think I can just set it to Gothic. No, it's already on Gothic apparently, but that is not Gothic. What's recommended? Oh. Let's just set everything to low. Saturation, contrast, brightness, sharpening, intensity, luminous occlusion, depth of field, bloom intensity, yeah, all that off. I know it's like it's a work in progress, but yeah, okay. So First thing that I'm noticing is that the game is not fully faithful to yeah, to the actual Gothic. Actually, I need to take a pause and just see what it's... I actually need to test this to see what my stream looks like. I would hate if this didn't work. This is really important to me. I can't seem to click on it. Yeah, for some reason my YouTube stream doesn't work. I think my Twitch stream should work, however. Where's my Twitch? Where do I have Twitch? Here. Testing. Okay, at least my Twitch works. So, as we can see, it's not... So, Diego, I understand why Diego looks the way he does. However, us as the protagonist, we don't fully look faithful to the protagonist. Now, this could also be just them kind of concealing what things will really look like, you know, the same way they kind of didn't show us a opening cutscene. I think that kind of makes sense, that they wouldn't want to show us what the final game will actually look like. You know, maybe they just want it to be a preview, but not the true representation of what the game will actually be, because that would kind of be a spoiler, right? However, I think stuff like this, no, I think they should have showed. They should have definitely showed what the actual protagonist would look like, because this is not being faithful, right? And I believe they did say something about that. I believe in one of the news messages about how I think it's like a work in progress or some shit, or they don't want to show it. Whatever the reason, I do think it's a bit disappointing that we don't get to see the proper state of the game in these early kind of points. I definitely would have loved to see that shit. Okay.
To kiepski pomysł. Jeśli znajdą mnie tu śpiącego, to już po mnie.
I like how the movement speed kind of changes with the kind of setting that you're around. So if it's a small room, you do kind of move slower. So that's nice. That's a nice touch.
Wybacz, że cię zatrzymałem. Jak sytuacja? Znowu próbowali nas okantować na zbożu, sucze syny.
Ej, ty!
Zarobiony jestem, świeżak. Diego już ci wyjaśnił co i jak, nie?
Mam tylko parę...
I am on the lowest settings here because the game does not...
Próbowali nas okantować na zbożu, sucze syny. Nie są trzy zarobaczone worki.
The game doesn't run that well, so I am on the lowest settings. It still looks fine. I think they could definitely do a better job, even on the lowest settings. Like,
Zgadza się. Dokładnie tak.
because my modded Gothic looks almost better than this. Like, and I could probably even show what my modded Gothic looks like. But what I want to do now is maybe lower the FPS a bit to like 90. With these kinds of single player games, I'm kind of fine playing on 90. I don't need the full 144. My field of view is the same as my Valorant field of view, because why not? What am I looking for exactly? I was looking for something. What was I looking for? Because I can't adjust the volume. I can't adjust the controls. What was I looking for? I'm not too sure. Game display, graphics, sound controls. Okay, anyways. Seems I have memory loss. Oh no, no, I know what I was looking for. I was looking for a sensitivity setting, because my mouse is really fast. Controls? No. Can I adjust my sense? It's already on the lowest shit. Okay, whatever, we'll live. Oh yeah, so one nice improvement that I see is that they did make the barrier a little bit more clear. Because in the original Gothic, the barrier is invisible. So when you're walking into certain parts of the map, you're kind of confused, right? Like as to why you're taking damage, you know, when you're like a new player. But here, wow, this barrier is massive. It should be a bit bigger though, I think. Or should it be? I mean, smaller, sorry. I meant smaller. No, I don't think it should be smaller, actually. But I think the curvature should be visible, at least. But yeah, this is really cool. It's not quite fully representative of the original Gothic, I don't think. Or maybe it is, actually. Wait. Yeah, no, it is actually. It's pretty representative. So that's pretty nice. Okay. Okay. That's cool. This is where you get thrown in the cutscene in the original Gothic. You just get thrown through the waterfall, but it doesn't really make sense, because like, where are you gonna get thrown in if like the barrier is there? Like the barrier should be a bit more forward, no? Like in the original. Because then it's like, how will the cutscene work if the guys who are throwing you into the water are gonna be like touching the barrier? That doesn't make much sense, but yeah, maybe you just get thrown in with the goods or something, with the moving goods instead. Maybe that's the alternative cutscene that they're gonna go for. But no, this is still really nice. Very, very nice. Wait, how do I mantle? So, the thing that I think in this area, I think it would be nice if the guards like kind of got your attention and told you something like I don't know, but some kind of NPC interaction here that's like forced would be nice, because in the original Gothic there is a mod where the guards kind of do talk to you a bit, you know. There's like the world is actually like, you know, kind of, you know, saying, you know, welcome and whatever, you know, good luck, avoid the fucking forest, you know, at night and shit like that. So like I think that's kind of what it's missing here, at least in this area here. It's just a nitpick, I think. But some of like one mod in the original Gothic does kind of do that, you know, because like, what are you meant to go up the ladder and talk to the NPCs? Like, why don't they talk to you when you're down here, right? And yeah, faithful to the original Gothic, the bugs are All there, very nice. And I think faithful to the original Gothic, the bugs should be just as hard to kill, I think. Because it is like a bug where like it's very specific what you need to do to kill them. Okay, this area is very nice, very faithful, and I believe that I've already been up here. Was I in the mines yet? Oh shit, you can actually go into the mines? Oh shit. I need a weapon in that case. A sword should be... Where should I find a sword? Okay, so you just mantle if you can. Okay, interesting. There should be a pickaxe here, but I guess not. I mean, dude, I would make so much shit so faithful to the original Gothic if it were me. Like, I know the position of every fucking pickaxe in the game. Oh my god. I know every pickaxe position. I don't yet know every berry position. Every, like all these tiny berries on the ground. I don't yet know all their positions, but... Is there a rat there? Yeah, I need a weapon to fight him. I probably missed a pickaxe earlier, to be honest, but I want to get a sword. I don't want a pickaxe, I want a sword, so... Also, there should be a sprint feature here in this game, because that's the one thing the original Gothic kind of did not do as well, is... You could sprint, you could totally sprint, but you needed a potion. So in the later game, you were basically just cycling potions. Oh shit! Already snappers, that early? I guess makes sense. They would go for the stronger opponents, but okay. So I don't know if I can fight snappers. Oh, there's a hunter as well. Oh, but yeah, I don't know if I can fight the snappers. But I want to fight the... What are they called in English? Mole rats? Yeah. How do I pull out a gun? A gun. How do I pull out a weapon? How do I pull it out? It's not automatic, I would presume. Let's see what it is. Can I save game? Oh, it lets me save. Yes. It lets me save. Oh, because last time I couldn't save. There we go. Let's go! What am I looking for? Oh yeah, controls. Draw / sheet. Oh yeah, okay. Just number keys. So, the one thing I don't like is that, like, okay, you're still nameless to everybody, but we now know your name. And, like, I don't know if I like that we know the protagonist's name. At least in this version, we know the protagonist's name, and the reason for that is because you're kind of meant to be a worthless worm at the beginning. Like, you're really meant to be disrespected by everybody. You're really meant to be kind of starting at the rock bottom, less than bottom, when you're starting out, because that's kind of the core of like what made Gothic so good, was that you really had to work your way up. And, you know, unfortunately, it wasn't fully realistic in the sense that, oh, you could work your way up really quickly once you actually got to, you know, kind of understand the game. So like first playthrough, yes, you're gonna be, you know, kind of weak and pathetic for a while, but you know, on the second playthrough, that's when, you know, things get a lot easier and you can kind of work your way up much faster. So that's kind of the main downside, I think, of Gothic, is that in terms of replayability, yes, you can replay the game. There's lots of different things to do each playthrough. However, it gets easier. It gets much easier. So I think the thing I would like to see is the game kind of being harder than it originally was. So like with these snappers that I saw earlier, or further up ahead, I think if we got to fight the strong monsters first, you know, there's already mentions of a shadow beast. So I think monsters should kind of be out of reach at first, you know, like you're meant to be this pathetic and weak, right? You're meant to be weak, you know. The people whom you can fight against should be the people who are on your level, right? So other diggers, other miners, and you shouldn't have a chance against most monsters, right? Maybe against the goblin, right? Maybe you would have a chance against the goblin, but I think they should be the main monster that you could actually fight against. So I don't know what I have here. I think it's I don't know, because it's low detail what monster there is, unless I'm just not looking at a monster and it's just like a shadow. Let's see what we have here.
To miejsce się nada, ale ktoś już z niego korzysta. Może jeśli go znajdę.
Why is block on? Why is block on this key? This is my push to talk. Block should not be on this key. But there doesn't seem to be a monster, actually. It's interesting. I don't know why block is on this key. That's kind of funny. Why is block on this key? What? But okay, no monsters here, so that's... I don't know. I feel like throwing you right into the snappers as your first kind of monster enemies is not... It's not the best. I need to change my push to talk. This is so annoying. Okay, mouse 3 should be fine. Okay. I hope it's gonna be fine. I hope it doesn't have anything bound to it. Okay. So no monsters here. So can we go into any of the mines? Oh yeah, I already have a sword, so I think I can proceed. But the thing that's interesting is just, okay, we have like one camp, but apparently we can't use it. So this path here is just kind of an alternative path back. However, I would like to see... Actually, that's kind of nice. I like that. I would like to see maybe what we saw in Gothic 2 here. Yeah. Is that a pickaxe? Pickaxe. Let's get a pickaxe. Okay, so there should be enemies here. Ooh. Is it gonna be like... No, it's not gonna be like that. Shit. Okay. Okay, nice. Do I have any healing? I don't know about that. But okay, let's pick up all this shit. I think that's fine. I think in terms of like quality of life, I don't think it would make sense to be able to pick up multiple meats at once. However, also it just makes little sense in the first place. Like, how can you pick up meat? Yeah, I guess you have a sword, so it makes sense. But still, also, I think a nice addition would be to be able to pick up all these pickaxes, but just be weighed down. I think, kind of like in Skyrim. That would be really nice because it's like you shouldn't be able to carry a million fucking things with you. And instead you should get the option to like, okay, what should you carry, right? If you get that option, it's gonna be pretty nice. But, oh, is it dark in here? It's kind of dark. There's nothing here actually, it's just, okay. What's this? Essence of healing, okay, nice. But I think I am just gonna eat. Okay, so you lose a bit of HP. Interesting. I guess it's just because it's raw meat. Kind of disgusting. Okay. Oh, a bit of arrows. Arrow and bow. Oh yeah, we have a bow now. So let's take the arrows. So in theory, we should be able to mine the ore still. Even in the demo here. It's like a smoke. Okay, the smoke. That's hopefully they're gonna improve that because it shouldn't be so bright. Oh my god, where is that light coming from? But yeah, okay, so that's fine. I like that. I prefer that, to be honest. Walking into the mine to fight the monsters instead, I think that's nicer. That's way nicer, being able to walk into the mine. However, we don't have a sword early on. We only have a pickaxe, which is fine, I think, actually. I think it's fine. Should I go fight the monsters up there? No, I usually waste way too much time fighting the monsters up there, because I just enjoy it. I enjoy that area a lot. So, let's see what we have here. So this guy is like hunting these guys. I think I should be able to talk to him. Can I sneak? Am I able to sneak? Or no? I can sneak. Oh, I can sneak. Okay. That's cool. How do I run? How do I run now? I don't know how to run. How do I run? Okay, let's talk to Drax.
Chwileczkę. To ciebie właśnie do nas wrzucili, prawda? Nie musisz nic mówić, już wiem. Masz wypisane na gębie pytanie, w co ja się kurwa wpakowałem. Pewnie już wiesz, że tu utknęliśmy.
Tak, szukam bezpiecznego miejsca na nocleg. Podobno łazi tu jakiś cieniostwór.
To prawda, też go widzieliśmy, wielki skurwysyn. Co powiesz na układ? Pomożesz mi upolować to stado ścierwojadów, a my podzielimy się z tobą
Oh! Oh! They're not snappers. Okay, they're not snappers. Okay. That's Did my OBS just crash? I hope my OBS didn't just crash. No, my OBS didn't crash, but it's lagging like crazy. Okay, I actually need to have my Steam open just to make sure that it doesn't crash, because, you know, you never know with these kinds of games. You literally never know. Testing. Test.
Naszym ognisku?
Tak, jest moje i moich ziomków.
Nie brzmisz, jakbyś był z Korinis.
Ty też nie.
To skąd jesteś? Krainy centralne?
Może tak, może nie.
Skąd mam wiedzieć, że to nie pułapka?
A wyglądam ci na złego złoczyńcę, który chce ograbić biedną świeżynkę z całego nieistniejącego dobytku?
No giz.
Bez urazy, przyjacielu, ale gdybym miał z tobą problem, już byś nie żył.
A ty co z tego masz? Spokojnie dałbyś radę tym ścierwojadom w pojedynkę.
Aleś ty ostrożny. To dobrze. Po pierwsze, pamiętam jak sam zostałem tu wrzucony i wszyscy próbowali mnie orżnąć albo zabić. Po drugie, jeśli się okaże, że jesteś choć odrobinę mniej bezużyteczny niż przeciętna świeżynka, mogę ci doradzić, żebyś olał to, co pewnie nagadał ci Diego i spróbował dołączyć do naszego obozu. Nowego obozu. Przynajmniej z nami nie będziesz musiał do końca życia włazić w dupę Gomezowi. Ale to może poczekać. Najpierw zapolujemy.
Wait. Okay, this is interesting. My push to talk doesn't work for some reason. Testing. Why does my OBS crash? Huh.
A ten wasz gang ma przywódcę?
Ma, Laresa. Ale powtarzam, to nie jest taki układ jak w starym obozie. Dowodzi, bo najlepiej nadaje się do tej roboty i tyle. Kiedy to się zmieni, ustąpi miejsca komuś lepszemu.
Umowa stoi. Jaki jest plan?
Nie potrzebujemy planu. Te ptaszyska są głupie jak but, więc po prostu wpadasz i je zabijasz. Tylko nie daj się otoczyć. Daj znać, jak będziesz gotowy. Wtedy wyruszymy.
Zapolujmy.
I to właśnie chciałem usłyszeć. Broń masz?
Tak.
Dobrze. No to chodź za mną.
Shit, I wanted to. Okay, I need to turn off my stream, but I wanted to fucking. I wanted to try and kill him and the scavenger, but I wasn't paying attention to my HP. Shit. Oh. Is there autosave? Probably not. Oh my god, that's such a shame. Okay, I have a sword. I don't need to explore all this area, I can just go down again. But that's so... Why is my OBS not lagging now? That's so weird. It doesn't lag anymore. Why is that? Borderless, full screen windowed. I have no idea why it doesn't lag, but okay. It does not lag anymore, so let's do it. Let's kill these guys. I'll try to kill him too.
Ej, ciszej tam, wystraszysz... Chwileczkę. To ciebie właśnie do nas wrzucili, prawda?
They're gonna attack me now.
Nie musisz nic mówić, już wiem. Masz wypisane na gębie pytanie, w co ja się...
They're gonna attack me as I'm talking.
Wiesz, że tu utknęliśmy.
This is so typical.
Bezpiecznego miejsca na nocleg. Podobno łazi tu jakiś cieniostwór.
To prawda. Też go widzieliśmy, wielki skurwysyn. Co powiesz na układ? Pomożesz mi upolować to stado ścierwojadów, a my podzielimy się z tobą jadłem i
Mm.
będziesz mógł się przespać przy naszym ognisku. Jest w starym obozie górniczym naprzeciwko zalanej kopalni. Nieźle osłonięte miejsce. Co?
A ty co z tego masz? Spokojnie dałbyś radę tym ścierwojadom w pojedynkę.
Aleś ty
Yeah, that's the main issue
To
so
dobrze.
far in terms of dialogue is
Pamiętam, jak sam
You can't
zostałem
skip it.
odrzucony i wszyscy
Oh, can I?
chcieli
Can you?
mnie
Wait.
orżnąć Albo zabić. Po drugie, jeśli się okaże, że jesteś choć odrobinę mniej bezużyteczny niż przeciętna świeżynka,
can't skip it.
mogę ci doradzić, żebyś
Shit.
olał to, co pewnie nagadał ci Diego i spróbował dołączyć do naszego obozu. Nowego obozu. Przynajmniej z nami nie będziesz musiał do końca życia włazić w dupę Gomezowi. Ale to może poczekać. Najpierw zapolujemy.
Umowa stoi. Jaki jest plan?
Nie potrzebujemy planu. Te ptaszyska są głupie jak but, więc po prostu wpadasz i je zabijasz. Tylko nie daj się otoczyć. Daj znać, jak będziesz gotowy. Wtedy wyruszymy.
Zapolujmy.
I to właśnie chciałem usłyszeć. Broń masz?
Tak.
Dobrze. No to chodź za mną.
Okay. So they're shooting them already. Oh shit. Why was it so much easier this time? What? It was so much easier for some reason this time.
Hej, ty! Dobra robota. Nawet niezła ta zdobycz.
What the hell?
Wiesz, jak się je patroszy?
No cóż,
Nieważne, poradzę sobie. Skoro już tu jesteś, to może mógłbyś znaleźć mojego druha Radforda i sprawdzić, czy nie potrzebuje pomocy.
Why
Jeden
would-
z członków naszej kompanii, Jorik, zaginął. Sądzimy, że może być gdzieś w kanionie. Rad właśnie go szuka.
What? Okay, side quest,
Zobaczenia przy
but
ognisku.
yeah, okay, side quest, but am I gonna get something from it? Like, you know, like already it's like, are they really gonna make me run errands for some random guy I don't know?
jak wygląda ten cały Radford?
Mojej postury, czarne włosy, krzaczaste wąsy. Nosi taki sam pancerz jak ja, więc powinno go być łatwo wypatrzyć. Znajdź Jorika i wróćcie tutaj. Do tego czasu rozpalę ogień i przygotuję kolację. A tak przy okazji, jestem Drax.
Yeah, so I wish I had the opportunity to like kill him and the scavengers. For some reason I thought they were snappers already, but they should have been snappers, like, because the issue is like, at least in my opinion, the issue is that Gothic 2 did some things better than Gothic 1, and Gothic 1 did some things better than Gothic 2. And in my mind, it's like, why not combine the things that both games did well in order to improve the first game's remake, right? And the thing that Gothic 2 did so well was that there were countless opponents that you couldn't really kill, unless you cheesed it, right? With the bad things that, existed in Gothic 2. So some of the bad things being that you could literally get like a cheap-ass spell scroll that allowed you to transform into a strong-ass monster that allowed you to kill everything, right? For like no cost whatsoever. And obviously that was broken, right? That was one of those broken things about Gothic 2. But, obviously ignoring those kinds of imbalances in the game's system, there were a lot of monsters you just couldn't normally kill unless you had some kind of strategy, some kind of plan, some kind of stronger weapon. Now that's kind of what was so nice about Gothic 1 is you really had to kind of think about how you're going to engage the monsters. In Gothic 1 as well, but it just wasn't as common, unfortunately. So I have a club here. And because it wasn't as common, I feel like this is one of those things they could have improved, is like just you really having to think about how to engage the monsters as opposed to just not having to think at all. I want to see how full screen is gonna be for my OBS. Could be better in theory, but okay, let's see. So I have to find this Drax guy, and honestly, I'm not sure why. Because... Oh, there's like an avalanche.
Hej, ty!
Proszę, proszę. Nowa twarz. Dopiero co cię wrzucili?
Yeah, their face textures look shit. Like, their face textures are awful.
Tak.
No, to witaj w kolonii.
Ha.
Jak ci na imię? Mnie nazywają Kirgo.
Nyras.
Ah,
Poznaj.
he has a name.
Może chwilę porozmawiamy. Powiedz mi, jak
That's awful.
sprawy mają na zewnątrz, a ja zdradzę ci parę rzeczy, które ułatwią ci przeżycie w tej dziurze. Cały dzień przerzucam ten cholerny gruz. Chciałbym się na chwilę od tego oderwać. To jak, pogadamy?
A może ci opowiem w zamian za bezpieczny nocleg? Może jedna z tych waszych chatek?
Boisz się cieniostwora, co? Pozwoliłbym ci, gdyby to zależało ode mnie, ale tak nie jest. Przykro.
Also, the face textures look a bit better now. They rendered in, I think. But he still doesn't look as tough as... He still doesn't look as tough as in the original Gothic. In the original Gothic, a lot of people just look really, really tough. Whereas here it's like... Yeah, they look a little bit old, but none of them look overly muscular. None of them look... You know, it's like... If this guy is pickaxing every day, all day, you know, he's probably gonna have muscles, right? He's gonna have muscles, but instead his arms just seem kind of flat. Like, I'm sure he has muscles, right, if he were to tense, but, you know, the point is, like, you know, visually speaking, for the player, it's like, these people should be muscular as fuck, right? Just because, like, they've been here, they're going through a lot of shit, you know? Like, it would make sense, given their environment, that they would be more muscular, you know? Just by default.
Dlaczego w ogóle obchodzi cię, co się dzieje na zewnątrz? Przecież i tak się stąd nie wydostaniemy.
Ludzie z nowego obozu i typy żyjące na bagnie twierdzą inaczej. Ale masz rację. Pewnie spędzimy tu resztę życia. Ja tam uważam, że warto sobie czasem przypomnieć, że świat nie kończy się na tej zasranej niebieskiej kopule. Inaczej bym zwariował.
No trudno. Szczerze to nawet nie ma co tu dużo opowiadać. Każdy sra w gacie z powodu wojny, a wszystkie chore historie o orkach też nie pomagają. Krąży jednak plotka, że Nordmarczycy odnieśli kilka małych zwycięstw. Tyle.
Chwała Innosowi. Miejmy nadzieję, że uda im się odzyskać część kopalń. Nie ma znaczenia, ilu więźniów wyśle tu król. Na dłuższą metę nie ma szans, żebyśmy nadążyli za popytem. A co z Korynis? Miałeś szansę zobaczyć miasto, gdy cię tu przewozili?
Niestety nie. Przez cały czas byłem zamknięty.
Szkoda. Brakuje mi tego miasta.
So there's references to Korinnes. That's nice.
Przez kilka lat po opuszczeniu Warantu. Miałem nawet kobietę. Rozę. Nie wyobrażam sobie słodszej istoty. Była lepszym człowiekiem niż ja kiedykolwiek będę. Cholera. Znowu zaczynam biadolić jak stary dziad. Wybacz.
Twoja kolej. Jakie masz dla mnie rady?
Dołącz do starego obozu. Jesteśmy sercem kolonii. Wszystko, co wysyłają nam z zewnątrz, trafia do nas.
Chyba, że osuną się skały.
Nie przejmuj się tym. Nasi chłopcy uporają się z tym w mgnieniu oka. Gomez jest surowy, ale wie, jak zarządzać tym miejscem.
Gomez, to twój szef.
Jest najbardziej wpływowym człowiekiem w starym obozie. Poprowadził bunt więźniów i teraz tam rządzi. To on mówi królowi, czego chcemy w zamian za rudę. A król to dostarcza.
Rozumiem.
I jeszcze jedno. Wyglądasz na kogoś, kto potrafi posługiwać się mieczem. Co powiesz na mały sparring? W przyszłym tygodniu czeka mnie walka. W zamian nauczę
They
cię...
rearranged the events of things. I wonder why. This usually happens much later. I don't know if I want to fight him, just mostly because I don't know if I like this. Like, that's a very, like, yeah, you know, as a like a tutorial kind of thing, it would make sense. However, I don't know if I like that, mostly because I think that, I mean, for new players, it would make sense, right? Just considering that people are probably not as used to, you know, difficult video games in the first place. I think it would make sense to give the player kind of a tutorial for fighting mechanics. However, we've already done that earlier by fighting the monsters, right? Unless someone was to not be able to figure that out, and, you know, in that case, yeah, they could go back at this moment and go fight all the other monsters after getting this fighting tutorial here. So I think that makes perfect sense as to why we get this opportunity to fight whatever his name was, Kurgo, I think, early on, essentially. I'm still not, you know, yeah, I guess it's also just that it's very isolated, right? I think the thing we're noticing so far is that they have kind of scattered the characters across the world. So they're not all in predictable, isolated positions around the world. Instead, they are actually walking around and engaging in different kinds of things and stuff like that. So yeah, it is a little bit more realistic. I definitely like that. That we don't just have all the fighters in one spot, all the miners in one spot, all the hunters, you know, in just designated positions. Instead, they are kind of all over the place. They're not all together, you know, like Drax and whatever his the other friend's name was. You know, them just being at the you know, kind of together, and then, you know, like, first hunter's hut has one hunter in it, second hunter's hut has another hunter in it, you know. Instead, if the NPCs were to have, you know, just kind of daily routines where they would kind of scatter across the world and then eventually go back to their huts, you know, that would make far more sense, because previously in the Gothic games, characters were far more constrained to their kind of standard positionings, and I don't think it should be like that, because they should be able to kind of go wherever, right? Essentially, right? Wherever they're needed. You know, if Gomez commands someone to go and, you know, take care of the rubble, like they did here with Kurgo, yeah, you know, like, great. You know, this is completely realistic. Yes, Gomez would dedicate at least one person to kind of take care of it a little bit, right? And obviously, there's probably going to be more guys coming, right, to take care of this eventually, right? And then it's going to be dealt with, you know, or maybe, you know, Kurgo just so happened to stumble across this rubble, right? And he's deciding to kind of help out Gomez a little bit by taking care of this job a little bit, right? So either way, you know, it's like there's kind of autonomy is already being presented with the NPCs, which is great. I like that a lot. You know, this kind of autonomy should definitely exist in a game that's already been very, you know, very kind of, you know, I guess realistic in a way.
Czeka cię walka?
Tak, na arenie. Będziesz mógł ją zobaczyć.
Because we're already seeing here, you know, two characters which we wouldn't really expect to be here, right? Like, so that's great, you know, that's great, that's interesting.
Dobrze, czemu nie?
Świetnie. Daj znać, jak będziesz gotowy.
Jestem gotowy do walki. Jestem gotowy do walki. Jestem gotowy do walki. Jestem gotowy do walki.
Dobra, zatańczmy.
That's a lot of blood.
Hej, ty!
To była dobra walka. Nic ci nie złamałem?
Chyba przeżyję.
To dobrze.
That's
Nie walczysz
not
źle,
that good.
kolego. Musisz
That much blood.
ćwiczyć, ale masz potencjał. Chcesz, żebym nauczył cię paru sztuczek?
Pewnie, czemu nie?
No dobra. Po pierwsze, gdy posługujesz się taką bronią, trzymaj ją jedną ręką, a nie obiema. Gdy nabierzesz nieco mięśni, będziesz znacznie zwinniejszy, co pozwoli ci płynnie łączyć ataki. Po drugie, jeśli podczas wyprowadzania ataku zdasz sobie sprawę, że odsłoni cię to na ripostę przeciwnika, wycofaj się i wykonaj unik. Wymaga to nieco treningu, ale poradzisz sobie. Pamiętaj też, aby podczas parowania wyczuć idealny moment. Po idealnej paradzie twój przeciwnik będzie podatny na atak.
Rozumiem. Dzięki.
Do usług. Lepiej znajdź sobie jakieś obozowisko. Zaczyna się ściemniać.
So we're meant to find. I'm meant to find the camp now. I guess this is. So we might not expect to see him in the actual remake, after all, because this landslide is probably just here so that we don't get to see the next area, right? The upcoming areas. I do like that they are being very, you know, kind of, you know, true to the original Gothic, just in terms of the map geometry, at least. The trees are much taller, I think. The trees the forest could definitely be a bit thicker, but it's whatever. So it doesn't seem like we can go up here. I don't think there's anything climbable here. Or is there? No, it doesn't seem like it's... It would be a bit more obvious, I think. But I don't think it should be obvious. I think the player should definitely kind of be forced to think, you know, for example, this thing here, you know, maybe there's like a way to get somewhere from here, but... From here, but... No, okay, let's go back. Let's see... Where is the hunter guy? Did I miss him? No. He must have gone somewhere. Up, maybe. So there's not much to do, it seems. It seems that the main side quest we're gonna get is just the one in terms of finding that friend, maybe in a mine or something. I guess after all, I'll have to wait. Let me save. I guess I'll have to, after all, kind of explore everything. I did not expect there to already be kind of a stop. But no, let me talk to this guy. Maybe I'll get some more clues as to where to find the friend. Actually, the friend should be up there, right? But I'll still talk to this guy.
Znajdź rata. Powinien być gdzieś w kanionie.
He should be somewhere in the canyon. Okay. Okay, I redid my help. So yeah, he should be up there then. I don't like the automatic climbing, to be honest, that much, but there should also be a chest down here somewhere. Yeah, I think. There should be a chest. Because... should just be a little extra loot, but no. Okay, never mind. That's a shame that there's no chest here. Because it's like... the thing I like about the original Gothic is that it really encouraged you to kind of explore just a little bit further. Not necessarily, you know, just being like, oh, here's a chest, you know, and that's it, you know, not like that. Okay, here he is. Here he is.
Hej, ty! A kim ty niby jesteś na Beliara?
Jestem...
Nie o imię pytam. Nie wyglądasz mi na członka któregoś obozu. To co, jesteś kopaczem? A może dopiero co cię wrzucili?
Tak, jestem nowy. Drax przysłał mnie do ciebie. Mam pomóc w zamian za nocleg w waszym obozie.
Czyżby? Nie potrzebuję pomocy. Zwłaszcza od takiej pizdy jak ty. A już na pewno nie pozwolę obcemu spać przy naszym ognisku. Zabieraj się stąd. W odskok.
Ale przecież się z nim dogadałem.
Ta, ale ze mną nie. Drax to łatwowierny idiota, który poczęstowałby orków piwem, bo pewnie im gorąco od tego słońca. Przykro mi, ale nic z tego. Powodzenia życzę.
I guess it was not the right dialogue option, but...
Powodzenia życzę.
Okay, so now the question is... do I just... yeah, so this is the kind of quest I don't like, where now I have to, like, go back. How do I demantle? How do I go down? Because I don't want to fall off the cliff or anything. Maybe they kind of anticipated that. Yeah, okay. It's actually nice and easy. Hopping off. It stops your momentum, so you only like go down vertically. That's nice. So they made some nice kind of improvements. But yeah, just a few.
Znajdź ratę. Powinien być gdzieś...
Okay, what now? What now is the question. Did I choose the wrong dialogue option? Let's try a different dialogue option. Please don't complain that a hero in this demo, Nyras, doesn't look like our beloved nameless hero. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's also another place where it happened. Okay. So they purposefully changed his appearance, or they purposefully... or they just didn't get it ready for the demo. Like, I don't hate the way the game looks, but the main issue is... it looks very generic. Like, the sun shouldn't be so bright. I think the light should definitely be slightly distorted from the barrier, even if it's just like a little bit more blue. It's just there's a lack of artistic direction. Instead, we're just getting the very typical, you know, realism, quotation marks, you know, quote unquote realism, when it really shouldn't be realistic, you know, in such a generic way.
Ty, a kim ty niby jesteś na Beliara?
Jestem...
Also, the fact the textures don't load.
O imię pytam. Nie wyglądasz mi na członka któregoś obozu. To co, jesteś kopaczem? A może dopiero co cię wrzucili?
Tak, jestem nowy. Drax przysłał mnie do ciebie. Mam pomóc w zamian za nocleg w waszym obozie.
Czyżby? Nie potrzebuję pomocy. Zwłaszcza od takiej pizdy jak ty. A już na pewno nie pozwolę obcemu spać przy naszym ognisku. Zabieraj się stąd. W odskok.
Mogę cię jakoś przekonać?
Słuchaj, nie chcę wychodzić na dupka, naprawdę. Ale cię nie znam. A okazywanie zaufania ludziom, których się nie zna, to prosty sposób na szybki zgon. Przykro mi, ale nic z tego. Powodzenia życzę.
So, what now?
Powodzenia życzę.
I guess I just load again until I until I find an option that works. But yeah, textures not loading is like it's a classical mistake, I feel like, in a way. We're like it shouldn't be happening. Like all you have to do is just like give the loading screen to the player like for 5 seconds too long, or longer than necessary, I guess.
Hej, ty! A kim ty niby jesteś na Beliara?
Jestem...
So third time's the charm.
Nie wyglądasz mi na członka któregoś obozu. To co, jesteś kopaczem?
But yeah, the inability to skip these dialogues is also
Tak, jestem nowy. Drax przysłał...
the inability to skip these dialogues is also kind of annoying, because
Nie potrzebuję pomocy.
it's like the nice thing about replaying Gothic was that yeah, you could just skip through everything. It was just like you could just spam the key and yeah.
Zamknij już, kurwa, ten ryj.
No i sobie nagrabiłeś.
Oh, I didn't heal. Shit. Oops, I didn't heal. So I guess the only option is to actually fight someone. But yeah, I need to heal. The health isn't displayed on at all times. That's another thing. It's kind of a bad thing, I think, for like beginner players, is like your health should be visible to you. It shouldn't be like hidden by default. Okay. Third time is the charm. Even though it's not my third time, but yeah. Okay. So I'm healed. I have a sword. Can I not just fight him? I'll take the patient option. I'll take the patient option and just go through the dialogue again. It's probably not worth it. I think I could just fight him with a slight advantage.
Tak, jestem nowy. Drax
Just a very slight,
przysłał mnie do ciebie. Mam pomysł
just a very slight
na
advantage.
nocleg w waszym obozie.
Czyżby? Nie potrzebuję pomocy.
Because I don't think I'm gonna be. I don't think I should be able to
Już na pewno nie pozwolę obcym
kill him.
przy naszym ognisku. Zabieraj się stąd. W odskok.
Zamknij już, kurwa, ten ryj.
No i sobie nagrabiłeś.
Wait, we just one shot kill. Okay. Also, the controls are just really clunky too. Really slow swings, really slow movement. So not necessarily clunky, but slow, right? Like sluggish.
Hej, ty! A kim ty niby jesteś?
Which is like kind of a bit of an issue, because like when you actually try, for example, if you try to fight multiple opponents, that's going to be a big downside, that you're not able to move quickly, that you're not able to swing your weapon quickly, especially, you know, in the early stages of the game where you're probably not going to have weapon mastery. You're going to have, you know, just these kinds of swings that this guy has. But yeah, it also makes no sense to call him a nameless hero if he has a name. Okay, so I talked to him. What the hell? What was that? Why is he so aggressive all of a sudden? Okay, so I could fight him now. I think I could fight him while he's not like ready. I don't think I could cheese him because he does have a bow. If he didn't have a bow, I could probably climb up on some rock and kill him, but okay. So there's definitely a bunch of monsters and stuff like that. I'll just go back and talk to the other guy. Now, I'll save here though. I'll save in case I want to fight him. Oh my god, my high sense is kind of troubling. It's nice how easy it is to jump down the rocks. Very nice. I like that. Like these kinds of movement, I guess, mechanics are kind of nice. I'd love to see that in the old Gothic. So what, is this it? Or do I have to like kill him? Like what? I'm so confused. I am so confused. So what now? What now? Is this it? Is that the preview? Is there nothing else to do? Like my dialogue options are kinda you know fucked. Because like, I don't think I can get good enough to where I'm not gonna get hit even once. Like if I get hit once, I'm dead by the guy, so let's see. So right click is like a wide swing. Left click is like, no, it's just the same thing basically, but the other direction. So block. So this is just a dodge. I'm just not sure why this is parry. Why is parry so far away? Huh. Like, I don't think a parry needs to be that far away, but...
Hej, ty! Właściwie to dlaczego jesteś taki przyjazny?
Mówisz, jakby było w tym coś złego. Sam nie wiem. Może dlatego, że pozostali tutaj wyglądają, jakby nie srali od lat. Więc próbuję to jakoś zrównoważyć.
Co powiesz na rewanż?
Tak szybko? Pewnie. Powiedz kiedy.
Daj mi chwilę.
Dobrze. Wiesz, gdzie mnie szukać.
Okay, I guess the mod that lets me... Oh yeah, can I pull up the console? How could I pull up the console? Okay, I don't remember. I don't know. I know what the console command was to activate the console. B Marvin B. But I still have a slightly different QWERTY layout. I don't have keycaps that have any labels on them, so I don't know which key is which since I don't use QWERTY. Yeah, so I don't know. Is this it? Like, is there anything else to do in this demo? Like, it's just such a weird quest. right? They really didn't put much effort into this. Like what am I meant to do now? Just like, kill the guy? Like I don't want to kill the guy, right? Like, I want to complete the quest, right? But yeah, I think that's it. Really, like there's not much else I can critique because just nothing to do. Really nothing. I expected a bit more out of this just because they already have kind of the material to work with, right? Like, they already have.
Znajdź Rata. Powinien być gdzieś w kanionie.
And they just one-shot you. Okay, so yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's just a bit of a shame. I think I'll come back to this later, but I'm not too invested in this just because like there's like I expected to go out of the canyon at least, right? Like at least let me go down the mountain. But they don't even let you go down the mountain, so bit of an issue. I definitely would have preferred to just go down the mountain at least, you know, maybe I don't know. Maybe get to the castle, you know, something like that, right? I'm sure that this doesn't take that long to make. Like, dude, if I remade Gothic, I could remake it within a year to the point where the player reaches like the castle basically, and that's by myself, right? By myself. So, you know, like give me fucking 50 years, you know, solo, and I'll make a Gothic remake, right? It's gonna take me 50 years, but I'll fucking do it, dude. You know, but you know, it's like I'm not. You know, they are not doing it solo. They have all the resources. They have all the assets. You know, they have people who are making the assets for them. They have people who are, you know, developing this game. There are people who are doing the voice acting, right? There are people who are actually, you know, figuring out, you know, what the quests should be, you know, how to remake it, right? How to remake the game, how to, you know, what the player should be doing, right? Also, how to improve the systems, how to improve shit. So it's like it should definitely take them way less time, right? At least to get to the simple points of the game, right? So the castle, right? Before you meet all the NPCs, right? The point before you meet all of them, because that's where it gets complicated. But yeah, it's unfortunate, really, that this is all the demo is. At least I think so, because like, what's gonna happen if I find the other guy? You know, like what's gonna happen? And nothing can happen because the canyon is still blocked off. And so long that it's blocked off, there's very limited things to do. So I think I'm just gonna, I don't know. I have no idea. Let's go back. Let's see, maybe, I don't know. Like, what else can I see? Maybe let's continue with the dialogue. No. Oh, maybe I should find like a safe camp somewhere here. I don't know. But I should find like a safe place. Ah, fuck off. I don't really feel like fighting any of the monsters. So let me try dodge them a bit. Perhaps. Can I go here? Okay. That's a goblin. I don't care about the goblin. Fuck off. I mean, there's like a camp here. Oh, someone's dead. Yeah, so it's so sluggish and slow, actually. Like all of this. Like the monsters are slow, the attacking animations are slow, the running is slow. Where did Drax go? Was his name Drax? Did he go after the monsters? No. Ah, interesting. But yeah, it shouldn't be that slow. Like, it shouldn't be. Did they join up or what? Oh, they didn't. Where did he go?
Znajdź Rata. Powinien być gdzieś w kanionie.
Cryptic image by an unknown purpose, presumably drawn by Jorik.
Znajdź Rata.
Okay, so I need the...
W kanionie.
I don't know, like, what do I do with the notes? Like, what? So now the other guy disappeared on me when I... Maybe I could have used the note to... I don't know, make him... understand that I'm on his side or that I'm useful or some shit. I hear the scavenger is pretty close. Why? Where did he go? What? Did he kill them all? Or am I dumb? No, they're there. I'm so confused. Did he just like despawn randomly? What? Why did he despawn? Is this monster still here? Yeah, this monster is still here. What? Where did he disappear to? What the hell? So an NPC just literally disappeared on me and I've no idea where they went. Bruh. What now? Okay, I I have no idea. Like, he couldn't have died because he's strong as fuck. Right? He's strong AF. I would presume. Oh, there he is. There he is. Is he gonna fight the monsters? Bruh. No. No. Kill them for me. 3 of them. One more, one more. Oh no, wait, one more. Shit. One more. Let's go.
Znowu ty!
Chyba znalazłem twojego kumpla.
Właśnie widzę. No tak, nie żyje. Kurwa. To pewnie robota cieniostwora.
Drax wspomniał, że był jednym z was.
Tak, z naszego gangu. Głupek uzależnił się od tego zielska, które sprzedają kultyści i zaczęło mu odwalać. Jak go widziałem po raz ostatni, to bredził coś o tym, jak to ich Bóg gadał do niego we śnie. Kołowaty jak nic. A potem, tydzień temu, po prostu wyszedł z obozu w samym środku nocy i już nie wrócił.
Bóg mówił do niego we śnie?
Szeptał. Chyba tego słowa użył. Tak się kończy palenie zielska od tych wariatów.
Mówisz o bagiennym zielu?
Ta. W dolinie jest bagno. A sekta, która tam urzęduje, uprawia i sprzedaje to zielsko. Najwyraźniej palą je, bo otwiera umysł na mądrość ich Boga. Ale wielu ludzi spoza sekty też po nie sięga. Podobno pomaga się rozluźnić.
Co to za sekta?
No tak.
Zapominam, że jesteś tu nowy. W dużym skrócie. Mamy tu w kolonii 3 obozy, a jeden z nich to powaleni sekciarze. Podobno ich naczelny wariat 6 lat temu miał wizję jakiegoś przedwiecznego boga, który ma się obudzić i zbawić ich wszystkich, więc przenieśli się na bagna. Do dziś tam mieszkają.
Ten Bóg istnieje naprawdę?
Jasne, że nie. Ten ich szef Iberion po prostu wykorzystuje to, że desperacko chcą się stąd wydostać.
Słuchaj, znalazłem to przy nieboszczyku.
List?
Nie, rysunek i jakieś symbole.
Musiał to na bas grać, kiedy był już porobiony. Możesz to wziąć.
Co teraz? Zabierzesz go z powrotem do obozu?
Nie. Przeczekamy tu noc, a jutro wrócimy do obozu i powiemy szefowi, że Jorik nie żyje i po temacie. Więc Drax obiecał ci miejsce w naszym obozie. Na jajca Beliara, co za jełop.
Pomogłem mu w polowaniu.
Czyżby? A, dobra, już chuj tam. Pewnie nie znalazłbym nieboszczyka przed zmrokiem, gdybyś nie postanowił pobuszować po krzakach. Zorganizujemy ci kawałek ubitej ziemi do spania, a nawet kolację. Przepraszam za wcześniej. Po prostu w tej zasranej dziurze opłaca się mieć oczy dookoła głowy. W każdym razie, chodź, wracamy. Mój kumpel Drax powinien już być w obozie.
Okay, so I was wrong. There's more. There's more. Is there anything else to find on him? Probably not. Is there anything else to like look at? Not really. It's just a shame because like it's difficult. It's really difficult to like get invested in this shit. When you know, it's not that good. Can't go under here? Oh, you can. Maybe if I sneak. Oh, if I sneak. Let's go. That's cool. You utilize the sneaking mechanic to get under low roofs and stuff like that. Okay. Very nice, very cool. But yeah, there's not much. I mean, I love the movement. Like, I do love the movement in the sense that, like, yes, it's kind of realistic. You're not just like, you know, spinning around as if there's like no physics or anything. Like, you're not, you know, like it's true to like real life in a way where like when you're walking forward and you want to turn to the left, it mostly seems like you're turning. It mostly seems like you're using your legs to make the turn, you know, and a bit of balance, but unfortunately it's still not perfect, and unfortunately it's sluggish. It shouldn't be so sluggish. I mean, I think this running speed is fine for like general purposes, but okay. Very cool.
A więc dorobiłeś się kumpla, Rad? Myślałem, że nie dożyję tego dnia.
Odwal się. Masz coś na obiad?
Tak, nowy mi połóg. Znalazłeś Jorika. Co go zabiło?
To prawdopodobnie ten cieniostwór. Musimy być uważniejsi w nocy.
Powiedz mi, świeżak, gdy znalazłeś Jorika, dowiedziałeś się może, dlaczego się oddalił? Nadal tego nie rozumiem. Kopce jak pieca, jakoś żaden Bóg nic mi jeszcze nie wyszeptał w snach.
Miał przy sobie ten rysunek. Spójrz.
Nie pokazuj tego gówna ludziom i przestań pleść bzdury. Jorik za dużo jarał i mu odwaliło. Koniec tematu.
Na jajca Beliara, weź się uspokój, tylko zapytałem. To może pogadamy o czymś innym. Pewnie już się zorientowałeś, że w kolonii są 3 obozy. Będę szczery. Nie jesteś tak bezużyteczny jak większość, których tu wrzucają. Powinieneś spróbować dołączyć do naszego obozu.
Przez ciebie wyglądamy jak panienki gotowe wskoczyć mu w ramiona. No ale Drax ma rację. Przydadzą nam się nowi ludzie. A ty nieźle sobie radzisz. Tylko pamiętaj, że jeśli nie chcesz skończyć zgięty w pół na polu ryżowym, to musisz się postarać.
To akurat tyczy się każdego obozu. Ale my przynajmniej mamy sensowny plan ucieczki. Prawdziwy plan, a nie jakieś sekciarskie bzdury o śpiących bogach.
Jeśli nadal myślisz, że ten gówniany pomysł wysadzenia kopca niebieskiej rudy zadziała, to jesteś równie powalony, co tamte świry. No bo kurde, mają już tyle rudy, że mogliby kupić cały warant. A jakimś sposobem zawsze, gdy pytam najemników, kiedy magowie będą mieli jej wystarczająco, to odpowiadają, że jeszcze trochę. Zaczynam się poważnie zastanawiać, czy z nami nie pogrywają. Tak jak ten cały Iberion ze swoimi owieczkami. Nie zdziwiłoby mnie.
Okay, so now's the actual end. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think it might be something to look forward to. It's just
Naprawdę istnieje.
Kind of a shit teaser. Okay, they want us. They want me to give them feedback through a QR code. Ensure whatever. I'll give them feedback. I'll give them a piece of my mind. Okay. How do you rate the quality of the text? It's fine. How do you rate the quality of the voiceovers? It's like a it's like a 4, a 3, 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5, something like that. How well do text and voiceovers represent Gothic for you? It's okay. Yeah, okay is a good option. Who was your favorite voice? Dude, probably Kurgo? I don't know. What kind of question is that? I don't know. I don't know, dude. Who was your least favorite voice? Probably Nyras. Please let us know if you have any other feedback about the localization. No. Game experience. I'm very familiar with the Gothic series, yes. The demo felt true to the spirit of the original Gothic game. Mostly disagree. Like, it doesn't really, like, no. It just feels like a modern remake. It doesn't feel like it's true to the remake, mostly because of the graphics. Demo's atmosphere was immersive. Strongly disagree because there's no artistic direction. What we're seeing is just generic shit that every video game has. Like, when it's like trying to make realistic graphics. The graphics and visual design enhanced my enjoyment of the game. Strongly disagree. I found the combat system easy to understand and use. Yeah. The user interface was intuitive and easy to use. Yeah, mostly agree. I was able to navigate the game world without frustration. Like, yeah, I guess, kinda, but it's a demo, so. The character controls were intuitive and responsive. Yeah, I don't really disagree or agree. Like, they were just kind of eh. I could easily control my character's actions during explanation, running, jumping, etc. Strongly disagree, because it is like slow and sluggish. The camera provided a clear view during exploration. Yeah, mostly agree. It was decent. The camera provided a clear view during combat. Yeah, mostly agree, yeah. The camera positioning and movement felt smooth and natural. Yeah, it was smooth, but that's not necessarily a good thing, because it just feels sluggish. The difficulty level of the demo was appropriate for me. Yeah. Dude, I mean, it wasn't appropriate for me, because it was like, first of all, the attack animations and shit like that are too sluggish, so it's like, I don't know what to put here, because it's kind of ambiguous, right? It wasn't appropriate, but not because it was too hard, it's because it was just sluggish, you know? Like, the difficulty was kind of just annoying to get used to, essentially, because it was sluggish. So like, was it appropriate for me? Yes, but no. Like I'm just gonna put like mostly disagree instead of like strong, because there's strongly disagree, mostly disagree, neutral, and then agree, mostly agree, and strongly disagree, and strongly agree. So after playing the demo, I feel excited about the full release of the Gothic 1 remake. Not really. I don't feel that excited. I mostly disagree. Did you enjoy playing as Nyras and experiencing new content with familiar characters? That's such a tough question, dude. Did I enjoy it? Dude. Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I'm kind of in the middle. There's some things they did well, some things they do badly. And it just feels like they kind of tried too hard with this. Like, original Gothic, it kind of just gives you, way less NPCs to talk to, way less useful NPCs to talk to, early on in the game, right? You're kind of just all alone. And like, it's not necessarily a good thing that you're all alone, but at the same time, there are things to do, there are things to explore. You need to find a weapon, right? So that's kind of the main quest for that moment, right? You need to find a weapon. So why not just transform that to where, it's a little bit harder to find a weapon? Maybe you need to get really close to some monsters. Maybe you need to fist fight a mole rat and win the fist fight in order to get a pickaxe. And then starting from there, you end up fighting some other weapon next to some other monsters, right? What if you need to fight your way up, instead of just being like, here's a sword, let me just go out of my way to pick it up, and then I can just fight everything early on, right? It's kind of not what it should be like. It should be way more difficult, definitely. So it's kind of the issue I had. So I think I did not enjoy it. No, I'm just gonna put I did not enjoy it, because it's not an adequate improvement, even when it comes to this early preview, right? Which aspects of the Gothic 1 Remake Prologue demo needs the most improvement? Oh, shit. Okay, which aspects of the Gothic 1 Remake Prologue demo need the most improvement? Choose up to 5. Character animations. Dialogue system and voice acting. No. Creature models, no. Creature animations, no. NPC interactions and AI behavior? What? Yeah, okay. I was about to be outraged here. They used AI in this? No. AI behavior? Yeah, AI behavior, definitely. Environments, maybe. I'm not sure. World layout and exploration. Combat system, potentially, yes. Camera controls and behavior, no. Character movement, yes. User interface and menu design. User interface and menu design, sound design and music, story and quests. I mean, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, story and quests, yeah, because it's a fucking preview. So like, it makes no sense to say that, bro, right? But it does need improvement. I think what we need at first is not a story. We need a quest. The story can happen later. And the story should happen later so that the player actually gets accustomed to, all the initial mechanics, of opening chests, taking loot, all the interfaces, and then, the combat system, when you walk into the initial mining cave and you spot a few mole rats, in the cave, it makes sense for the player to kind of be concerned over that first, as opposed to being like, oh my god, I need to find this guy, this random ass guy, who's like, doesn't trust you, and then you need to like figure out why doesn't he trust you? How can you make him trust him? How can you make him trust you? It's a bit annoying. It's a bit annoying, to say the least. I don't think that's really a necessary quest early on. The quest with Kurgo is fine because it's just, oh, you just fight him, you know? That's fine. That's whatever, you know? That's one way you can kind of get used to fighting NPCs or to just get a preview of like what it's like to fight NPCs. But I think the damage should be lowered. The damage should be scaled down versus this guy, and maybe you just die in 2 hits instead of 1 hit, and then maybe the guy isn't like, oh, you seem like you like shot, you know, you seem like you used the sword before. Like, no, like, how do I seem like I used the sword before? No, I seem like I didn't use a sword before, ever. Getting a call from someone, what? I don't know what the call is, but it is a call from the UK. Okay. Not quite sure what the call was, but continuing. Yeah, like maybe you shouldn't be able to kill him, but maybe you should be able to land a hit, right? 1 hit, you know, the guy holds back, lets you like throw 1 attack in, you get parried, and then you get thrown, and then you get knocked to the ground, right? That would make far more sense, and then, you know, the guy gives you those pointers after that, you know? So you immediately go from that kind of unpleasant two-handed fighting mechanic into that one-handed fighting mechanic after getting the advice from the guy, right? Because clearly you've not used the sword before. So that would make complete sense, right? And that would be a kind of nice small improvement, because there's still other ways to improve, you know, weapon mastery, combat mastery afterwards, you know, not necessarily just by, you know, giving you the character pointers as to how to use the sword a little bit better, right? It's like, you know, so the pointers you're given are great, right? But the combat system does need to be more responsive, you know, so that's kind of the main issue, is it needs to be more responsive. Okay, next page. Please rate the Gothic 1 remake demo based on what you saw. Please rate the visuals in the Gothic 1 remake. Okay, coming back. Please rate the visuals in the Gothic 1 remake. Like, they're okay, but it's like it's not true to what the original Gothic was aiming for. It's way off from what it should be, definitely. So it's like dated? No, like I'll just give it like a 2 out of 5. 2 being the worst. Please rate the animations in the Gothic 1 remake. Mostly clunky, yeah. Please rate the user interface in the Gothic 1 remake. It's whatever, dude. I don't care. It's not the interface that makes the difference. You know, it's like, you know, still, it should be true to the original interface, which it kind of was, kind of wasn't. It mostly wasn't, but it is kind of true to the interface mods for Gothic, so it's whatever, you know. It's like it's personal preference. It's not like an objective kind of thing. It's not like a, you know, it's like staying true to the original game is an objective factor. However, there are those subjective factors, like, oh, what should the user interface look like? What should it be like? Should it be true to, like, should it be true to the original Gothic? Probably not. It probably doesn't make that much of a difference when it comes to the actual gameplay. You know, you're only going to be in the interface for a little bit compared to, you know, running around, fighting things, talking to NPCs, stuff like that. So it's not, objectively speaking, it's not a significant aspect of gameplay. It's something that should be worked on, but it's something that should not be priority. It's something that should be like, you know, like last final priority, really, you know. Please rate the sound in Gothic 1 Remake. It's alright. Like, I'd kind of in the middle. Like, there's some good, some bad. Please rate the music in the Gothic 1 Remake. It's not really okay. Please rate the controls in the Gothic 1 Remake. They're actually decent. Like, the controls themselves are decent, you know? Like, movement mechanics. But not perfect, you know, it is sluggish. Please rate the combat system in the Gothic 1 Remake. Like, combat is like 2, a 1. Like, it's not good. Again, it's sluggish. It just doesn't feel like you can do anything, really. Please rate the Gothic flair how you perceived it. So 1 is generic RPG. 5 is absolutely Gothic. 1 generic RPG. Like nah, it's like I don't want to be harsh, so I think I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. It is mostly a generic RPG. That's what it looks like. I don't know what the flair means. I don't know what flair means in this context, but they are giving me the option to rate it 1 for generic RPG, 2, 5. Absolutely Gothic. What overall score would you give the Gothic 1 Remake? Oh, okay, let me think about this. What's the overall score that I would give it? What is the overall score I would give the Gothic Remake? So it's like a 50-50, I think. Maybe like a 60-40. So like I get the option to rate below 50, and then in increments of 10, 50, 60, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 90 plus. So I'm assuming that higher is better. So the overall score I would give Gothic would probably be around 60. 50? I would give it like 60, I think. 60, not just in terms of the things they did good and bad, but also in terms of the things in terms of how many things they need to improve on. I think they definitely have a lot of things to improve on, at least from this preview of the game. So I think a 60, like a 60 or 50 would probably be it. So I'm not trying to be harsh here, obviously. About you. I'm 18 to 24. How many hours per week do you typically spend playing video games? Depends, really, but like a lot. Would you call yourself a die-hard Gothic fan? Yes, dude. Yes, dude. I know where every fucking pickaxe in the game is. I know where every strength potion in the game is. I know where every health potion... Actually, I don't know if I know where every health potion is in the game, but I do know where every strength potion is in the game, because that's kind of the main reason why the game is so fucking easy for me in the first place, because I just know where all the best potions are, and it's kind of cheesy, but... okay, what Gothic games have you played? All of them. Gothic, Gothic 2, Gothic 3. I didn't complete Gothic 3, but I did get a good impression of what the game is like. I did spend like 5-10 hours playing it. What is your favorite Gothic game? Yeah, I hate this question because I don't know. Like, I love Gothic 1 for its simplicity. I love Gothic 1 because of the immersion. I'm gonna have to go with Gothic 2, I think. I think Gothic 2. Like, I did process a few of the factors over time. I think after that processing, I think Gothic 2 would have to be my choice. I don't know about Gothic 1. Like, Gothic 2 just feels more iconic to me than Gothic 1. But Gothic 1 is still great. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Gothic 2. On which platforms do you play games? PC. Console as well, but I'll just go PC. Oh my god, please tell us anything else you would like us to read / consider. Yeah, so this is where I'm gonna input artistic direction, really keeping things true to how the original artists intended for Gothic to feel like. Essentially. As well as just lower clunkiness, more responsive movement and combat animations and controls. Staying true to the original game, making improvements based on not just Gothic 1, but based on the things that Gothic 2 did well, based on the things that Gothic 3 did well. I don't know how many things Gothic 3 did well, but I'm sure there's something, right, to learn from Gothic 3 as well. But it's mostly Gothic 2, I think, that they should also learn from. Okay, review finished. Please tell us anything else you would like us to read/consider. And what I wrote is the following. Please read the artistic intent of the original Gothic 1 artists and follow that artistic direction. Don't make the game seem like a generic RPG. It does not have to look realistic. Make the barrier give the world a dull bluish tint that's barely noticeable. Make the controls and movement more responsive. Right now the game feels really slow. Give back the option to use original Gothic controls. Most importantly, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Learn from both Gothic 1 and Gothic 2 and give us gameplay that improves upon both things of the original games. Give us a gameplay that improves upon the things both of the original games did poorly. Second, the most important thing is read the story intent. The nameless hero should not have a name. He should be a worthless worm at the start. Weak, disrespected by everyone, pathetic. Working your way up is what made the original Gothic so great. Please make sure you watch Gothic analysis videos to get a better idea for all the things I mentioned in this review. Do thorough research. Gothic is not meant to be just a game. It's supposed to be a perfect, awesome art. And that is literally factually true because the original Gothic had so much intent behind it. Okay, I also added Gothic is not meant to be just a game, it's supposed to be a perfect, awesome art. The original Gothic 1 and Gothic 2 had an enormous amount of intent behind them. An overwhelming amount of things in the original games was designed with intent. And that is, again, really true. Really, really, really true. Thank you. We truly appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts with us. Your input is essential to helping us create the best possible game experience. Thank you for being a part of our community. Can't wait to share more with you soon. Submit. Okay. Very nice. I did not share my email, however. Shit. Ooh, wow. That's a slight mistake. You know, I would have... Did I contact them? I don't know. Like... Because, you know, I'm just a nobody, but that's kind of... That's just so sad. Like, because I genuinely think that I know what would make Gothic, the Gothic remake, good. You know, if it literally just improves upon the things it was already doing badly and well. You know, like it. It's not so simple. But you know, in terms of individual quests, yes, I would not be able to help much in terms of individual quests. However, I would be able to help a lot in terms of just the atmosphere, the artistic direction, just what made Gothic Gothic. You know, a lot of it has to do with the exploration as well. So it's like so many things, so many small things are important for this game to for the remake to be an improvement. And as things stand, it's not going to be. Unfortunately, it's not going to be. That's just the sad reality, is that with how things are right now, it's unlikely we get anything amazing. Which is just a little bit unfortunate. Let's see the discussions. Let's see. What are we talking about here? There's bugs. Happy birthday, Gothic. 20 years of Gothic, yeah. FAQ. Buggy mess. Yeah, dude, yeah. Can't change sound. Is this a bug? I don't know. Hey, bro. Bro, it's a fucking demo. You can't expect everything to work perfectly. Like, what the hell? Like, bro, you gotta just be dumb, right? Please fix the rebinding. It's not even meant to work, bro. Like, it's not meant to work. They're not supposed to work. Like, it's a demo. What are you rebinding keys for? For 5 fucking minutes of gameplay? 5 minutes of gameplay, and this guy wants to rebind his keys. Oh my god. Yes, terrible yes. Yeah, no, they're not using AI. This guy is just fucking dumb. Paranoid. Like, it's just a shame, dude. Like, buggy mess? Really? No shit. It's almost as if it's a demo, you know? And a demo is not really meant to be good, usually. Especially not if the studio is working with, you know, these kinds of limited resources, as they clearly are. Like which kind of studio isn't working with limited resources when it comes to Gothic? Like, players keep asking if the game has the Polish language. I know the Gothic series has it on Steam since 2016. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, yes, they should. They definitely should. But are they gonna? It's like, just use mods. Like, give you a sneak peek of this cavern shot from the Gothic remake created by. When was this? 2021. Shit. 2021. Huh. Yeah, this is the old stuff. This is old news. Yeah, I mean, he's right. Chicken-like appearance. I did not expect this kind of feedback, but like, they're kind of right. You will notice that they have some kind of bones on their body as armor protection, but the original also have some horns. They kind of copied Scavenger from a game called Arcania. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it is true. The Gothic One Scavenger don't have these spikes, but they only have spikes around it. It's just different skin type. If you see skin, it could be a different skin type, yes. Different skin, bone, yes. It's more harder on the rough, in my opinion, but the most part I dislike is that skull looks like a helmet for me. Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's definitely not what it should be right now. And the scavenger, which they showed us, doesn't look like a scavenger from Gothic 1. It's just that answer, but he should look like a big bird, more like a chicken or a raptor. Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay for them to look like raptors, but they should not have that skull. That skull is not it. The bones are like, they also don't feel too natural. in general, this is not something that an animal would evolve to have. It might, it might, but it's just the fact that it doesn't look as natural as it did in the original Gothic. That is the main issue. I think the goal isn't for them to look like cool or fantastical. The goal is for them to look realistic and kind of natural. And again, they don't get this. They don't get that. They don't get what artistic direction means. And all this feedback that they're giving is valid. This is all valid. What's not valid is the way that the scavengers look. With my take, it's not just the scavengers, it's the game in general that doesn't look like it should. But they are perfectly right, It's like, literally take the modder's approach. I hate this because in reality, what the studio should be doing is taking the modder approach to improving the game. And it is a very unprofessional approach. But however, it is the most effective, most least controversial approach as well. It is literally, logically, the least controversial, the most universally accepted approach when it comes to improving aspects of the game. And the modder's approach that I'm referring to is the idea where you take the polygons and you essentially interpolate. You add more polygons, you add greater texture quality. So you take what you have here and you renew it into a higher poly count model with a higher level of texture quality. Essentially. So you take this and you transform it using the data that you already have, right? And this way, what you're going to end up having is just this, but better quality. Literally just that. That's it. And then after that, yes, you apply all the animations, you apply all the other stuff, right? You don't take these, out of nowhere. You don't pull out the scavenger out of your ass. That's not what you're meant to do with a remake, with the community that is so hardcore, It's just not it. It's just not it. It's just a shame. It's a shame that they don't know what they're doing, when it comes to these. Yes, it's not going to be as easy. Or is it going to be? Because here's the thing. Would you rather take the slow approach but make everyone happy, or would you rather take this fast approach and make no one happy? It's like, I think the goal is to make people happy, right? Surely they're not just making the game to make money, right? Because if that's the case, fuck them, right? But, if they cared, they would take the approach where they just take this and they improve it. Maybe they make the eyes move, right? Maybe they make the eyes slightly rounder so that they can physically make the eyes move. Or maybe they don't need to change the shape of the eyes. Maybe they can just animate the eyes as is, right? Just small details, And look at these feet. Do they have the similar feet? No, they have they have similar feet, but it's not taken from that, right? They've not really taken. They've not directly taken this, which is the annoying thing. That's kind of the annoying thing, really. Again, this is kind of skin, This is mostly skin. It's like a mesh of skin and bone, right? And then this is bone, right? This here on the front is bone. What they have is just bone, and that's it. It's just bone. There's no gradual, shift in that, which is again, why? What? I know that it's probably artistically easier to not make it to remove the gradient, to not have a gradient. Yeah, it's probably artistically easier, but that's not the point, is it? They could do it here. Just do this, but better. That's it. He doesn't have a jaw. Yeah. That's another thing. He does not have a jaw. He has a beak. And he probably does. I don't know. I mean, he does have a jaw, but it doesn't open wide. It does not open very wide. I don't think. In the original game, it doesn't even open. But the point is that they're kind of pecking, right? They peck like chickens. And because they peck like chickens, it makes sense for their mouths to kind of open not very wide, realistically speaking, you know, for them to ingest the food. So but yeah, I want more information now. He wants more information. Just naked man running through the city, yeah. I don't know if they're awesome. Let's see the original screenshots. Uh, eh. It's like, also, where is this from? I guess. But wow, this was bad. Not smooth camera movement, poor movement in general, voice acting was horrible, and much to the video gross. Oh my god. I think my cat has fleas. My cat has fleas. Let's give her a flea tablet. Oh my god. So annoying. Okay. W grze występuje coraz więcej błędów. Gdy zaczynam grać kilka godzin, nie da się zapisać gry. Nie wiem dlaczego tak się dzieje. Yeah, he's not able to save the game. Yeah, it makes complete sense. Really. I mean, I already had this happen to me as well. I wasn't able to save the game. Yes, please keep it in this direction. I play Gothic. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree that they should keep it as close to the original as possible, but that's not by going in this direction. Like, let's go back on the Gothic. Let's go. Now, I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know if I deleted any files by accident or anything. However, I'm gonna see. Ooh. Yeah, so these are some of my mods. They need a bunch of updates. I'm gonna apply the updates. Fuck it. You know, it's probably not gonna work. It's probably not gonna work. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if it works. If it works, it's gonna be great. So I have something here. I have something. This is like one of my playthroughs, definitely. I was messing around here. That's kind of annoying. I was messing around here. Playing time 16 hours 16. 16 hours 16. So that's kind of the most recent save. 16 hours 16. But did I not start cheating here? Did I not start, like, that's kind of the strange thing is I think I would rather just start from beginning, to be honest. Also, do I have the X? Yes, I do. Okay. Okay. So let's just start with a new game. Okay, some of my mods don't work. Some of my mods don't work. That's strange. My arrow keys don't work either. What? Nothing works. What the hell? Ah, because my controls are not for the arrow keys. Okay. Fix field sound. What the hell is this glitch? What? Okay, but we have okay. And like, yeah, like the game doesn't look better, obviously, because it's all low poly stuff with slightly higher texture resolutions. However, obviously, the reason there was so little grass in this game was because of, technical limitations. So in reality, this grass here represents grass everywhere, right? So if there's grass everywhere, it makes perfect sense, right? Obviously. There's a chest here. I would love to enter the B Marvin and B code, but not quite sure. But yeah, like as you can see, there's now a monster here. Now if we just come up here somehow, there is a chest here, and there should be a chest over here. Or am I schizophrenic? Oh no, okay, I see. I see where the memory is from. The memory is from a mod. It's from a different mod. That there's like a, it's meant to be a chest there. But yeah, here's a pickaxe to kill that mole rat. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what the code is for the cheat. Or I know what the code is, but yeah. Yeah, no. Like they should really just keep it true. Also, what's my sprint key? Oh, there's a torch key as well. Interesting. And yeah, I think with these mods, they also kind of changed the way these scavengers look. They look a little different. And like, they still don't look bad, necessarily. I don't like the way they look, personally, but they don't look bad. By any means. Or cleave surface. Yeah, so there's lots of herbs, lots of grass. There's supposed to be lots of herbs, lots of grass, and there should be, these different kinds of greenery or vegetation kind of towards the water. Which we don't really see. And then again, we just see this kind of predictable kind of thing where like, oh, there's scavengers in an area. There's like a scavenger field. Guess what? There's going to be hunters, right? And the hunters are going to stay together, And it's like, it's kind of pointless. Like, there should be a bit more autonomy. And then you just don't really see NPCs that are like playing alone, essentially. You don't see NPCs that play alone. You only see NPCs that are kind of together. And that's kind of always the case until you get to the hunter huts. The hunters are the only NPCs that actually don't stick with someone. So here I should be able to just use like the weapon pullout glitch or something. I don't have a weapon, never mind. Okay, and yeah, also these bugs and glitches where like they still let you in without being petty. That's another issue. Is there's just a floating bench. All right, bro. All right. Yeah, just a floating bench. Yeah, yeah, dude, for sure. Yeah. These mods really fucking make some silly stuff happen. Oh my god. Just a floating bench. Okay. But yeah. But the main issue is, as we take a look outside, we're gonna see that this place is actually pretty dull. It's actually pretty dull. Like, it really is just kind of, there's just one kind of, there's many just of similar colors. Like, it's like it's spring in a way. It's like spring in the sense that it's just like a certain amount of colors and lighting that you can expect. And then it's just like sand, right? It's like where there's sand, there's just sand, right? And then some greens in some other areas. And it's like all these biomes, they kind of work together in a way to give kind of just like a general tone. Like if we go this way here, we're gonna see that there's just nothing changes. Like all that changes is we get more monsters. And yeah, like it's just the same color everywhere. It's just the same color everywhere. And that's kind of on purpose. Like in terms of like technical limitations back then, there were no, the rendering, in a way doesn't change. Like the rendering intensity doesn't really necessarily change if there's just slightly more color variance. This was mostly just artistic intent behind Gothic. Pure artistic intent as to why things looked the way they looked. And what I would rather see is everything just become bigger. Everything becomes bigger, more interesting, improved. Like even if it's on a subjective level, it should still be, improved in the sense that Oh, I just died from that height. I thought maybe I could like hit a rock or something, but okay. Okay. Gothic street up. I don't know. But yeah, that was kind of yeah. I don't know if this is a bug or if the mods just didn't update yet, but oh, I was playing the treetop fix. Why was I playing the treetop fix? As far as I'm aware, I don't want to play that. Interesting. Or if I remember correctly. Oh, okay, well, that was it. That was a kind of mediocre demo, really. Like they just don't know what they're doing, which is like kind of a shame. Like it is a shame because they don't need to like not know what they're doing. Like they don't need to know what they're doing. They just need to look at the fucking previous games. Like, it's that simple. Look at the previous games. Look at each individual thing. You know, look at how the scavengers look. Take the idea and actually make it close to the original idea. You know, at the very least, and at most, actually, you know, extrapolate. You know, increase the mesh count, increase the texture quality. You know, animate things. You know, actually animate the scavengers. It doesn't matter. It does not matter if things look like the previous game because it's meant to be a remake, right? So I think it would be completely fine to take, you know, mods from these games. You know, I'm sure that they could get permissions to use the mods, you know, that were made for these games, in the remake, because that's kind of the point of it, right? And it's like if you can use these mods to save yourself time and be able to, you know, basically make the game better than you would have been able to by independently improving everything, or quotation marks improving, you know, essentially just coming up with your own ideas that are kind of original, kind of not, kind of shitty, not a true reflection of what the old game was like, you know, not a true artistic improvement, you know, then yeah, you know, and it's like right now it's just way too colorful, definitely. Like it's still fine. It's still not bad, you know, but there's definitely some things that need polishing out, that need changing. But yeah, overall, not bad, not great. Definitely not bad, definitely not great. Uh, you know, some people are like, oh, it's great. Some people are like, oh, it's really bad. But ultimately, you need to look at everything. I personally think I kind of am looking at everything. You know, I am looking at the interfaces too, for example, even though I say the interfaces don't really matter that much compared to the rest of the gameplay. You know, I'm still looking at that, you know, like how much does it affect the gameplay? How much does it, you know, how important is it for the interfaces to be good right off the bat? How important is it for other things to be, you know, good right off the bat? And I think in this case, what was important is, you know, in this case, they did complicate it for themselves because they kind of made this, you know, kind of low effort quest in a way, just for the demo, which might not be good. It might not, you know, it's like it might be kind of pointless. You know, it's still going to be useful, right? This data is still going to be useful for them, but it's not going to be the same as just giving the player base like a proper full representation of it all, right? And that's kind of the main issue, is they're not giving us proper representations of what the game is going to look like, even in the early stages, you know, because they're still gonna be changing things, right? Even if it's not gonna be in terms of, you know, the things that happen in the demo and you know what we have access to in the demo, even if it's things in regards to, you know, what happens later, it's still gonna be, you know, like you know, there's still a lot that can happen beyond just the demo area, unfortunately. That is kind of why I think it's just kind of a bad demo in the first place. It's a bad demo, but you know, like if we look at it beyond the demo, yeah, it's probably gonna be okay. Probably gonna be okay at best. Unless they actually make use of the feedback they get from the player base. However, I'm scared that the player base isn't gonna know what they actually want. That's kind of the issue. Is I think the player base might just talk and talk, and they might not necessarily give good feedback. It's like again, it's just like you just have to look at the original games. It's just the original games that you really have to look at. Yes, in terms of feedback can definitely help you stay on on the main path, but ultimately, what you you have all the answers, in the original games essentially. So it's just it's not gonna be. It's gonna be easier if they were to just use the original game, like like very faithfully, not just in terms of the world, right? Not in terms of like the world and the NPCs, but also in terms of the specifics. So, how the movement feels, and then just closely representing what what's supposed to be kind of a remake, right? But it doesn't have to be like a remake that's like original. It can just be a remake that's unoriginal. That's kind of the main issue, I think, is that they're trying to make it original. It's just shit. But yeah, like if they just don't make it original, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, indeed. Can I quit? Okay. Okay. I think that's it. That was like 2 hours. Wow. Okay. And I still have the entire day still. Okay.